Price reductions are on the rise. Is this something that we need to be worried about? Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel all about real estate. My name is Lewis, and in today's video, we're going to dig into the data behind all of the price reductions we're seeing here in the real estate market. Now, before we get into it, if I could ask a small favor, if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button, hitting that subscribe button if you like all things finance, real estate, and investing. And without further ado, let's just jump right to the data here. All right, so I picked up all of these stats and facts here from Redfin, and it is really eye-opening. And the fact that they provide this information is so helpful and useful, and it's totally free. So I'll go ahead and link to the data center here in the show notes, and you can actually go through this yourself and look up your specific market. But I'll show you how to do that right here. So the first thing that I did is I'm looking at the Redfin weekly housing market data, and I clicked on the price drops tab. Now over here, you're gonna see that it includes all Redfin metros. So this is everything on a national level, but it's only the metros that Redfin is currently operating in. Now this sample size is everything dating back to 2019. And it's a 4-week duration. So you have 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So that's only a 4-year sample size, or really 3.5 years in this case. So it's not a huge data set. But as we go through some of this, I'm going to show you some older data, and I think things will be pretty eye-opening there. But you can see here, it shows the different years. This orange line is 2021. This red line is 2020. The blue line is 2019, and then this black line here is 2022, and you can see it is a major outlier. Price reductions or price drops have increased really dramatically. This is the percent of active listings with price drops in all metros. So on a national level, about 6.5% of all listings are seeing price reductions, and that's up about 3.7% year over year. Just over 6% in my view doesn't really seem like a ton, but let's continue looking at the data here and see what happens. This chart and data set I actually found to be a little bit more useful because it goes back to 2012. So we have about a 10-year sample size here to actually view from. So same thing, I clicked on the price drops tab here. This is Redfin monthly housing data, and then I edited the chart just to show everything on a national level because I want to see where we are today and what that average looked like over the last decade. So according to this monthly housing data, about 12.8% of all active listings has seen price drops. Now, if you go back year over year here, you can see that that probably is maybe a little bit above average, but it's certainly not a major outlier like the last few years that we have seen. So that's why I think there is a little bit of a discrepancy there. So in my view, it's important to take a holistic approach to see what is going on in the market. In fact, if you go back to 2019, looks like September of 2019, about 21.6% of all listings saw price reductions. And that is dramatically higher than where we are today. So if you were to just draw a line straight across here, yeah, I mean, we're probably seeing roughly an average amount of price reductions at this time on a national level. So in my view, that's nothing to be overly worried about at this point, but it is something to pay attention to because it is dramatically higher than it was in, let's say, February of this year, just a few months back. Here's what I think is really interesting. If you guys are still with me, this to me is what I think is the best part about this. Redfin actually allows you to select the region. So if you click on this drop down here, it gives you all of the different options for the different regions that Redfin is currently operating in. And so I personally wanted to see Sacramento market because that's where I'm at. But you can search for whatever location that you're in. Usually it's the major metro area. So like an example would be Roseville, California is a sub-market of Sacramento. However, Roseville's not in here, only Sacramento is. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for Sacramento, and I'm gonna do the Sacramento metro area. I'm gonna hit apply. And then I want to see what this data looks like. Now, real estate, many people will say that the market is local, and this chart represents that perfectly, in my opinion. So on a national level, we're seeing roughly an average amount of price reductions. But in the Sacramento market, take a look at what is going on here. Right now, it says that 44.9% of all active listings in the region are seeing price reductions, according to Redfin. Now, if you go back and you look at this chart over the last 10 years, This is the highest it has reached in that time period. Now, this is really alarming in my opinion because it's the highest it's been in over 10 years. So when I'm looking at this chart, it's screaming something to me. I don't know what this means exactly in the market, but I could just do my best to make an educated guess. But if we are starting to see this many price reductions and we're starting to see buyer demand fall off a little bit, it means that affordability is getting squeezed. And so logic would tell you that unless something jars loose in the market, unless we see dramatically lower interest rates, or maybe less and less inventory hit the market, then my guess is that prices are likely to moderate. That doesn't mean they're going to see a major decline in the Sacramento area, but I wouldn't be shocked if, maybe they just level off here, or maybe they moderate maybe 5% or something like that. They just have a small drawdown and just become a little bit more balanced or a little bit more realistic. Now, on that note, this tells me that sellers are going to have to be a little bit more flexible with not only their price, but also the terms. So this is really great news for buyers. Those people that have been out there and over the last year, let's say they've been competing aggressively in this market on price and terms, and they were never able to get a property under contract. They've had to offer well over the original list price. They've had to get so aggressive on terms. This is probably going to give them a little bit of relief. They're going to have the ability to look at more homes. They're going to be able to be a little more choosy. They are probably going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive with the price and terms that they offer. So I'm not sitting here saying, hey, we're going to see this massive crash in the Sacramento region, although the data is pointing to the market softening and the temperature changing a little bit. So we're going to have to monitor this. I would encourage you to use this data in your market and see what is going on. It's a great barometer. So anyway, that is all the information I have on price drops here on a national level and pulling it back into the Sacramento region. I hope you found this information useful. Let me know what is going on in your market. Leave a comment below. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much.